Boom.
I'm ready if you want.
What miracles of science and engineering it took to recover this gold.
Always, every episode. Maybe we should see if we can talk about J-Lo in some way. Every episode of the entire show.
We'll just start making shit up about J-Lo. We'll be like, people who make shit up about J-Lo. And then we'll get sued.
Welcome to All Gold Everything, a podcast that is giving the people what they want. I am one of your hosts this evening. I am Heidi B.
I'm Sandy.
And we are going to have a great show tonight. We got tons of stuff to talk about. First of all, the Powerball is up to $750 million.
That's a whole lot of money.
That is a whole lot of money.
Like imaginary numbers. That has a little I, a little lowercase I, and then 750 million.
Yeah. The dream of beautiful septum piercings is still alive with that kind of money. That's for sure. For sure.
I'm ready for it.
Yeah. And no decisions are final on how we're splitting it yet still. So we still have some time to organize and get together on that.
Yeah. We have time to figure it out.
We know that Joey's not getting any because he passed on taking the ticket. Is that?
He said it was mine. He said, it's yours. Write that down.
Write it down.
Write it down. Some lawyer out there. Because I'll hire you when I'm a multimillionaire.
That's right. You can just keep them on retainer every second of the day.
Mm-hmm. So write that down. He said, it's yours.
That's basically a receipt.
That's a receipt.
That's a receipt.
It's documented.
Documented. Done done.
Put that in the divorce papers. JK.
Never.
JK.
We had a lot of crazy stuff happen this week. A lot of great stuff happened this week. One of the greatest things that happened this week is that Sandy and her running crew completed the Wildwood Trail in Forest Park from end to end.
From end to end.
It was so good. It was so fun.
Yay, look at the photo.
If you're watching us on YouTube, Mark has a photo up right now of some glitter signs made by yours truly that were at mile 11 and 25, just to make sure everyone was pumped up about being out there doing all those miles.
Yeah, that's the finish. That's when we were done.
That's a great picture of the finish. I love that.
We were chilling.
Can't believe everyone looks so casual.
Yeah, we were just chilling.
Nobody even looks sweaty.
Well, can we talk about Mamiko's hair?
Yeah.
She just ran 30 miles and her hair looks like she just got out of the shower.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Not got out of the shower and did her hair. Not like got out of the shower and it's wet. I was like, Mamiko.
Yeah.
Like, did you just put a wig on? Like, what happened? I'm trying to tie up my braids because they were dreadlocks.
Yeah.
My braids turned into dreadlocks. So that photo was captured as I was trying to tie them up because they were such a mess.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was super fun to be a part of, if only for the signage. I was so stoked about it. I got set up in the wrong spot and all I could think was like, yes, it was important to me. And that was because I read whatever. I got set up in the wrong spot. And
I have receipts on that too. You read it wrong.
I read it wrong. I think I read it wrong. I was trying to tell you, like, I think you sent the right thing, so it doesn't matter. I got to where I was supposed to be.
It definitely doesn't matter.
And I was panicking about where I was. And so, and really I was like, oh my God, I have to be there for them for their food. Like I know what it's like to even run 10 miles and I don't want you guys to have to wait around. But then part of me was like, oh my God, I have to get their signs up. I have to get the signs up.
I mean, you killed it. It was, we all had to be flexible and adaptable because, I mean, it was actually funny and it doesn't matter because that's the kind of thing that happens on race day. And it's like,
I should have gone out there during the week to confirm.
It was fine.
Yeah,
it was fine, but it was funny because to roll up on where we thought you would be and where I had been telling people for weeks you would be and there was nobody there, we were all like, it was kind of a weird feeling, but at the same time, all of us, with the exception of Joey, knew that we were running 30 miles. So another 2 miles to a Coca-Cola is like no big deal. So
I would have been in tears.
it really was fine. But the two biggest babies about it did happen to be the two men. And I won't say any more than that.
Oh, shoot. It was just really cool to be able to be out there and have the signs for you guys and talk to there we are. We're in Mykonos.
Now we're in Mykonos.
Yes. Which is really what you deserve, a vacation in Mykonos after running 35 miles, I'd say.
Yeah. No.
Yes.
Yeah. No, but I do want to say the to be able to set up like legit aid stations on a run like this, it really made the run incredible. So thank you so much. And the people who ran with me, who I kind of tried to recruit, I sent out
We put a call out here.
Yeah, we put a call out here, and I recruited these people, and I did feel a sense of responsibility. So I felt really good to get the feedback about how wonderful like Mamiko thought it was to have like, she was like bragging on social media about the legit aid stations and the glitter signs, and to see like Mamiko and Libby and Tanner like just really get a morale boost and a lift from the aid stations and the glitter sign. Like it really made it special.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And tell us about the recovery. I mean, now, so for me, I have run a marathon. You and I have run marathons together, which is about 10 miles short of the distance you guys did on Saturday.
4. It was like 30.1 miles is what we did.
I was thinking 35. Okay.
No.
Still a lot. Those 4 miles are big miles at the end. Like, I don't think it can be overstated the difference between 26.2 miles and 31.5.
I have to tell you, I felt like a champ. The last 5.5 miles are Germantown, where we had an aid station to the end of the trail. And I felt like a champ. Like I nailed it. I had not a fear in the world. It was a nice, like, and so like you hit the marathon mark like right after you dropped down out of Germantown, and it was like this. I got this. Yeah. So yeah, it's good.
There is nothing better than a confident athletic experience, I think. And how has it been in the days afterwards?
Okay. So the one thing I have to say is it was I think the best part of the experience was the group experience, especially because I wasn't actually loving training. At first during the training, I got this big wind and I was feeling good and I was feeling more like myself. And I'm like, yes, this is what I wanted. This
I do
is why
recall
I'm doing
that phase.
This.
Yep.
But then I kind of dropped down into winter gloomy mode, and I'm like, I want my days off back. I'm never doing this again.
Well, and you trained through some really gnarly weather, right?
Like, I mean, so this is what's crazy. Like we were training in the snow and the mud and all this, and then so we go out on this day, and it's like the most beautiful spring day.
Yeah.
So when I was out there, there were stretches where I was alone, because what we would do is we would kind of split up, like the faster ones were up ahead, and then we would stop and we would kind of wait for the slower ones to catch up so that we could all be in a clump together.
Nice.
So there were a lot of times in that I was kind of just running on my own. And it was like, it hit me so hard because all the other times I'd been out there, it was like the worst mud I've ever run in, or like snow and ice, where I'm like, There were times when I was lucky there was a tree there, or else I would have like tumbled down the ravine.
Sure.
So now I'm running, and it was a beautiful spring day. It was sunny most of the time. The birds were chirping, and you know those tiny little like warbler birds? They're all out.
Yeah, they are.
They're all out all over the
like,
trail.
hey.
And it was like the sights, the sounds, and the smells of spring literally carried me all over the trail. I had an incredible experience. So I'm laying in bed, I think it was just the next day or maybe the day after, and I'm like, I want to do it alone on my next weekend off. I just want to do it where I just want to go out there and run on that trail again and run it straight by myself.
Yeah.
Like just to see what I could do. And my body feels great.
Yeah.
It felt like a training run. So my body feels great. So
That's
I feel like I
amazing.
could totally do it. But then I'm like, well, wait, maybe I better go for a run before I make such proclamations. So
that's my style to do something like that too.
Yeah, but I went for a run, and I mean, I'm really grateful for a strong body right now, because
that's awesome.
I'm ready. I'm ready to do it again next weekend.
That's so
That's
cool.
what I'm trying to say.
Are you going to do it? Are you really going to do it next weekend?
I'm thinking about it. My next weekend off. I work this weekend, but I'm thinking about it my next weekend off.
Well, one of the things I was talking about when I got to the right place and I got set up, I was talking to a trail runner who was stretching or whatever, and who was interested in all the snacks that I had laid out there. And she and I were talking about a long run she had done. I don't know if she had done end to end. I can't remember what. I think she had. And she was like, well, where are they ending? Newberry or Germantown? And I'm like, oh, Newberry or Newburgh or whatever, past Germantown. And she's like, oh, well, she was implying that maybe some people think that Germantown is the end, that there's some confusion about like what really is the end or something. Anyway, that's all not really important. The important part is that she was saying that she had done it, and like they ended up doing it in torrential rain or something. And I was like, and that's the thing, is like you have to plan so far in advance. You have to set a date so that you can work backward to train for it. And then like, you got to hope that it's not like the worst rain Portland's ever seen, or like a snowpocalypse on the day, and just like what a universal like gift to show up and have it be like 55 and sunny with the birds out.
I kind of learned that a long time ago. It's like, that's what the training runs are for you to get dumped on, for you to get snowed on, for you to get a migraine.
Yes, that happens.
I had a migraine during a race, and it's like, So, anything can happen.
Yeah.
And so like, that's what training runs are for. So the group of us never spent any time going, oh, we hope it's a nice day. It's
Right.
like, we know we're going to get what we get and we're going to run through it no
Crank
matter
it out
what
no matter
it
what.
is.
Yeah. Oh, it's so awesome. Well, congratulations. It was amazing.
Thank you.
It was super cool. And it was just great. It was awesome. So
Yeah.
happy about it for you.
Well, thanks again for your support.
You are welcome.
You made the day.
My glitter sign service is available. If you want to fly me to your event, I will absolutely come and make some glitter signs. You don't have to put we can split the costs, whatever. I'm open to that. Just hit me up. DM me.
Wait. We can split the cost. No, you will pay her for the flight, her hotel,
There we
and
go.
supplies.
Excellent.
And then you're going to buy her a real nice
Actually,
dinner.
you can just DM at the real Sandy J. She's my agent now.
Yeah, let me take care of that for
that'll
you.
be good. And then you can
There
give
will
her
be
all the
no
receipts.
splitting the cost. Jesus.
Awesome. Okay, so I got to move us into this correction corner piece for a minute. So we're at correction corner.
Correction section.
Wow. Okay, so some of you may recall that last
What's
episode.
your recollection?
That's good. I like that. Some of you may
an inflection.
have a recollection of
Go.
last week that last week we were talking about Facebook because it was down, and I was mentioning that I happened to have had Facebook in college.
Yeah, and I was like, whoa, you're so young.
Okay, so first of all, it turns out that's a lie. Oh. I did not consciously lie it, but I got a text message from my friend, a friend that I went to high school with in my graduating class, my friend Christopher. So he texted me, he said, oh my God, I'm listening to your podcast all the time. You guys are great. And I recommended it to my friend Taya, who lives in DC. So first of all,
Hey, Taya.
Hey Taya, hey girl, how are you? And he said that Taya was listening to it and loving it, which is awesome. And that when we came across that Facebook story, she texted Christopher to say, oh my God, your friend said that she had Facebook in college, and that can't be possible. Isn't she the same age as you?
Yeah, Taya, fact checking. I like it.
So Taya fact checked us.
If you live in Washington, D.C., you're just like a natural fact checker.
You
You
have
can't
to
let
be.
shit slide. Taya, I get you.
Taya is staying vigilant.
She can't let shit slide.
she can't.
She's too close.
She's too close. Oh my God, I love that so much.
She's too close.
So she totally fact checked, which was great. And then Chris was texting me all of this via, this conversation. And then he's like, oh my God, and your brother's fact checking? He's definitely going to call you out on this. So then the next, 2 days later, I post a video on YouTube, and the very first comment from Fred, the first and only comment from Fred is, Mark Zuckerberg invented Facebook in 2004. Therefore, Heidi, there is no way that you could have been on Facebook in college. So turns out I did not have Facebook in college. I could have sworn that there was something like, not MySpace, because I think I was about to say I think I had MySpace in high school, but I'm afraid to commit to that now with all the fact checking. But I feel like
you are still younger than me though, because my senior year in high school, I took an economics class, and my professor, it was like we're about to go off to graduate,
Yeah.
and he's like, you guys, friends, people, what is coming? You will not believe. It is called the Information Superhighway. And we were like,
huh?
okay. And he's like, it's the World Wide Web. And he wrote www on the board, and we were just like,
whoa.
senior in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I like
But
that.
look how young I look.
You do look young. You are aging in reverse, and we really aren't that far apart in age, I don't think. No, we're only like 2 years.
5 years.
No.
How old
I'm
are you?
38.
Oh, well, I think you're 37, and I'm
that's
42.
awesome.
So
I
was
thought you were
close to
40.
5.
I thought you were 41.
I'm 42.
Okay, so that's good.
But look how young I look.
You do look young. Aging in reverse over here, just through natural remedies like running ultra distances and taking care of our bodies and drinking a
big
lot
gulps.
of Diet Coke. DC, I'm ready for that sponsorship gig, by the way. Okay, so this week...
7-Eleven's going to be the one ringing us up. We'll be like, yes, we want to sponsor where all the meth heads hang out.
That's right. I would take a sponsorship of any kind, I think. I should
We
be
could.
judicious
Yeah.
with that. Oh, one last thing about the story with Chris. So because Chris recommended the show to Taya in DC, we sent Chris a Ship-a-Dick box. It's coming!
Thank you, Chris.
It should have already arrived
we hope
by
you
the
like.
time
We hope you like penises.
by the time this airs.
Cute cardboard penises.
And I'm asking Chris, I want to ask Chris on the show, by the time he listens to it, I think he'll have it. When you get it, I want you to post on social and tag us in it, please.
Yeah, if you can do that, that'd be great.
Lots of Z's. That would be awesome. Okay, so one of the things that we are talking about this week is Keeping Up with the Kardashians has released their trailer for their new season. And guess
Season
what?
16. 6
fucking teen. I had the same thought because, okay, first of all, I prepped.
How many seasons a year are they doing?
I don't
That's
even
what
know.
I need to know.
I don't even know.
How many seasons? Like, they are literally always on camera,
Always on-
right?
yeah. Okay, so I prepped a little bit for the show by actually watching a full episode of KUWTK, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, before I came here. And as I was selecting it on TV, because it's always on the E! channel, like just marathons of it all the time, because there's just hours of footage of these chicks, it was like season 15. And I had the same thought. How many seasons of this? What is happening even right now? Okay, so
This like is the Twilight Zone. Like, you realize that.
so strange. So one of the things that I had, the second thought I had while watching it today was like, it's a lot of filler on the show. And these chicks are always talking about like, we work so hard. We're business women. And like, they were all just hanging out.
They're always on a couch.
They're just always on a couch.
Aren't they though? Like, I mean, I don't watch it, so I really don't have a place
No,
to
but
say that. But whenever I see something,
always on a damn couch.
always on a couch.
Always on a couch. And in this particular episode, Chloe was early in her pregnancy and she hadn't announced it yet. So she was like, she was refusing to leave her house. And Kim was like, you haven't left the house in like 3 weeks. And she was like, I don't care. She was ordering everything from Alexa to have refilled and sent directly to her house. She was like completely hunkering down, unwilling to leave her house and just like be on a couch for 6 weeks at a time.
Yeah.
So I don't know how, I mean, I know that in this day and age.
It's a cautionary tale. People, listeners, this is a cautionary tale.
I'm going to do the Sandy
Yes.
Like, oh, God.
Isn't it though? Like,
Okay.
be careful who you emulate.
Get in bed with.
Get on the couch with.
Yeah. So one of the things that's happening in this trailer is the trailer is teasing the breakup of her marriage with the Jordan Woods.
Yeah, the trailer is teasing the most dramatic season of KUWTK yet.
Do you want to do
Did I say that
You
right?
did. You did it. Oh, hell yeah. Killing it.
Do I want to do what?
Do you want to do an impression of Chloe at all?
Well, can you do like the dramatic background music?
I can't remember it.
Well, it was just like very dramatic. It was like, dun, 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 dun. And it was like this super filtered light pink, and she's just like, well, I liked it when she screamed into the phone. That was good. That was
the
good.
link that you sent
Sorry.
me only. No, that's okay. The link I asked for it. I literally asked for it. It's perfectly fine. The link that you sent me, I played it, and it only had her saying, "This is not TV. This is my life."
Yeah.
And it had me thinking, like,
No. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Cautionary tale. 16 seasons.
16
It
seasons.
is TV, and it is her life. And she and this whole family has sold their soul. And then they're like, I don't wonder why this whole trailer, they're crying. Everybody's
Everyone's crying.
Nobody's happy. They're all talking about how much shit they've been through, how
Yeah.
hard their lives have been.
Yeah.
But they look perfect.
Yeah. I mean, I just had the thought, like, well, like that's the cost of doing business. Like, you have a life that allows you to sit on the couch because your life is TV. So, sorry, I don't feel sorry for you.
Well, I agree with you, but I do feel I don't know. It's not empathy because I can't relate. I feel some sort of sympathy for them because they're so blind to, they have done this to themselves.
Yes.
And they're so wrapped in the bondage of self.
Yeah.
That they don't even
So obsessed with
see
themselves.
how ridiculous it looks.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it coincides with what you're with what you're saying, which is that I had this thought of like, oh, it's the cost of doing business, and then I thought, but they can get out because like Rob Kardashian is part of the family and he's not a part of the show anymore, right? And there's a Jenner, Brody Jenner did the OC, but he's related to those Jenner the younger sisters, and he's not on the show anymore. So like, if some kind of self-awareness emerged about the kind of situation that they've created for themselves that puts them in this much pain, I believe that they could get out.
Yeah. Well, yes, absolutely. It's like insert easy getting out of the mafia joke, but
Right.
I do think that Kris Jenner is like fucking Don Corleone.
Yeah,
I don't know if they
that's
could get
true.
out, but I do believe that they can. I do think you're correct, but I think that I mean the things that they cry over
Yeah.
are not things,
No.
and so their sense of reality is so warped.
Yeah, really distorted.
I don't know that they would be able to value getting out.
Right.
Like, I don't.
what would even happen to them if they weren't on the show.
Yeah.
And they had some freedom and they didn't have this whole thing to obsess over.
Right.
If they weren't in the middle of stirring the pot up all the time. Yeah, no, I completely agree.
So I did watch the whole trailer,
Uh-huh.
and one thing that just like filled me up with love was Kanye. Fucking, I just love Kanye. He does church now. I don't know if you do that. If you know that,
I did not
he
know
gets
that.
everybody out in their finest whites and Calabasas.
Yeah.
Come to Calabasas. We have the biggest choir you'll ever have. He's leading the choir.
He's
doing
not driving
music.
a RAV4 to church. I know that from listening to his music.
Fuck you think I rap for to push a fucking RAV4?
No.
I know. That's
does
like
not.
one of the best lines ever. I can't.
Pretty good about remembering that one.
I can't look at a RAV4 without shaking my head. Like, oh, you settled for that RAV4. But yeah, he does church and he does music, and it's just in the trailer it like always cuts to Kanye with his choir.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
I'm here for the choir, Kanye. I'm here for you, and I'm here for the choir. I'm here for it.
Well, and then in another clip that I saw that was airing in this season 15 for season 16 of the episode I was watching today, there was talk about somebody was like, Courtney is completely obsessed with Kanye, and then cuts to Kim saying, well, the family that swaps together stays together, blah, blah, blah. So you might, but it's interesting because Courtney in the episode I was watching is going to therapy and is like starting to try to extricate herself a little bit, like getting a sense of how twisted everyone's reality is. And it's making everyone really mad, right? Nobody likes that she's starting to like maybe have some other thoughts than like the machine wants her to have.
Well, I mean, didn't we talk about this? How
We did.
if Courtney disappeared, nobody would notice.
Yeah. And then Kim said as much on an episode, like, you're the least interesting to look at. That's why we were talking about
I don't
it.
know. I don't know why they'd be so upset if she went to therapy. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know what else to say about that.
I don't know. That might be it.
Yeah. I mean, good luck to you guys. And pain is pain.
Pain
And
is pain.
do think that Chloe's going to be in pain for season 16. They all are.
They all are.
Based on the trailer, they're all in pain.
All the
in
time.
Season 16.
Every episode, more crying.
More ugly cries out of you, Kim. We want you to bring that back.
Okay, well, 2 weeks ago, we talked about the fact that A-Rod and J-Lo were getting engaged.
We did.
And at the time,
And clearly I don't remember what we said.
no, I'll remind you.
Yeah.
I'll provide you some recollection with some inflection. So we had a picture of them, which I think Mark's going to put up if you're watching us on YouTube. And at the time, I put this picture up. I asked Mark to throw it up. And Sandy's response to this was, oh my God, that is not real. You know that is not real. You know that she rehearsed that, which I was like,
I can't believe I said that. I don't even remember saying that.
That was amazing. It was amazingly accurate.
Did I say that, you guys?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was awesome. And the news outlets are reporting that this picture was in fact staged, that they did it several times to get the appropriate reaction before everyone kind of signed off on it or whatever. So I'm just saying that, once again, All Gold Pod is ahead of the curve.
Go with your gut, girl.
We are staying vigilant on top of this stuff. So you want to tune in here first if you want to get the story, because we were also the first ones to break something. Oh, we were talking about R. Kelly weeks before Surviving R. Kelly came out. So we're on the cutting edge.
That's true, but it was years and years that he had been in the news and being sued and going to court and all that.
That's true. And then you did you came across the article.
Yeah.
How did you do that? How did you come across that? I can't remember. Can you remember?
I can't remember 2 weeks ago saying that was
That's
fake.
okay.
Yeah,
that was
but it came across my purview.
Yes, it did.
I don't remember
Came
how.
across our desk somehow. Anyway, we were on top of the story. All I'm saying is we're Cracker Jack reporters. We play fast and loose with the facts. No one should be using us as their primary news source. Okay, the next...
But they should.
But they should.
They should. Because we have good instincts. We
do.
have poor facts, good instincts.
Exactly. Love it. And some savage news. I have a couple of stories of like just some real ass savagery that I am here for, that I like. There's a new book coming out. I'm not going to bore you with the title or the name of the woman who's writing it, because frankly, I didn't write it all down, but I did. There's this book coming out from a conservative pundit, I think, that is a memoir of Barbara Bush. So Barbara Bush, the matriarch of the Bush family, died, and the book discloses that Barbara Bush had a tremendous hatred for Donald Trump. like infuriating fire of 1,000 suns, like most of us have, actually.
I can relate.
I think there is
I
empathy
never
here.
thought I would say that I could
Never.
relate to Barbara Bush.
I know.
But here I am.
Here you are relating. And in fact, in the book, she did an interview at some stage. The book recounts the interview that she gave in her last days. And it asked her, did she still consider herself a conservative Republican? And she said, today, maybe. She had shifted. She said, if you ask me in November, I don't think so. So she could kind of see the writing on the wall for this Trump candidacy, and she was prepared to step away from the Republican Party. So anyway, but the thing that's savage about this that I like is that apparently she hated Donald Trump's goddamn guts so much that on her bedside, somebody gave her a clock with a countdown to his end of days, the end of his term. So it counts the days, hours, minutes, and seconds until the Trump presidency first, and oh my God, hopefully only Trump presidency is done. And I just think that is a fucking... And she took that gift and she put it on her nightstand, and every night she looked at it going to bed, and every night she looked at it going, waking up. And I just feel like...
But maybe that's what gave her a heart attack. It's like, oh my God, there's still so much time.
I found this story on Vice, and they were connecting the two as well. So again, your instincts are right on that perhaps her Trump countdown clock actually gave her the heart attack that killed her savage ass at 92 years old. So rest in power, Barbara, because I don't know, that's just a wild... I agree. I never thought I would have any kind of empathy or resonance with B squared, and yet...
Yeah, here we are.
Here we are. So
like in Twilight
that
Zone.
was crazy. And
It's
then
a weird time.
The other thing that's crazy that is trending today is a phrase called, "You were at my wedding, Denise."
Okay.
I
like these phrases that trend with names. I'm always way behind on them.
I agree. I'm really here for this one
Except
too.
bye Felicia. I got sick of all these white people saying bye Felicia, and they didn't even know where the fuck that came from. I didn't have time for that. So that not that one, but all the other ones. Like there was one about Daniel.
Oh yeah, damn Daniel.
Yeah, I had no
Sneaks.
idea. I was way behind on that. I'm like, why is everyone saying damn Daniel?
Well, you're getting ahead on this one, out
Okay.
in front. Okay, so
Denise.
here is the backstory to "You Were at My Wedding, Denise." Again, a conservative pundit was writing a piece about. I wrote all the notes down on this one, so I can tell you the story. Okay, so a woman named Denise McAllister, she's a conservative pundit. She tweeted this week, "Can someone explain to me the purpose of the show The View?" Now, for those of you that do not have daytime television on all the time.
Yeah, I feel like I could ask that question.
Okay.
too.
Yeah, it's okay. I can tell you a little bit about it. It's basically a roundtable. Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, a couple of other people that I don't know their names, and Meghan McCain represents the conservative. She's basically like the single conservative on the panel, right?
She's pretty moderate.
And she is pretty moderate. And, she kind of has... I have been watching it because I'm home during the day now, and I have it on as noise because it just comes whatever, So I'm like, it's like tangentially in my experience these days. And I have to say, I feel like she has some big shoes to fill. She has like kind of been tiptoeing into the political arena and into the media realm for a while now. And like, she continues to like do her very best to honor John McCain's legacy, her father. And like, she is, such a great defender of him and his politics. And I do think that she's like pretty moderate on the conservative scale. But I'm not entirely sure because I just really still don't know everything about her. I get
my feeling is, and Fred can correct me, I feel like back in the day, I think she was a Trump supporter, like way back.
Okay.
Kind of. Because I remember hearing her kind of stick up for him. And then when I've more recently heard from her, you can tell she is not at all.
Yeah, she's been critical now.
That's why I think that.
And in fairness, she's like one of few Republicans to stand up to this lunatic and say like, you're wrong, basically. Okay, so that's who's on The View. So McAllister tweeted, "Can someone explain to me the purpose of the show The View? It seems to me to be a roundtable of delusional mental midgets ricocheting ignorance and lack of emotional regulation." To which McCain clapped back, "You were at my wedding, Denise."
Okay, that's a clapback.
Damn, I guess it's a clapback. I mean, I just think like, okay, Denise is pretty fucking savage for being at Meghan McCain's wedding.
So Denise is behaving how like conservative Republicans now feel totally empowered to behave.
Just incendiary,
which is like a
rude, childish. Yeah, completely agree.
Yeah. So,
Completely agree. So anyway, McCain responded, "You were at my wedding, Denise," and the internet has just gone wild with it. Like, it's a meme now. It's kind of funny I think even just the cadence of it, like you can just hear someone being disgusted with like having to be on the receiving end of that vitriol and just be like, "You were at my wedding, Denise." Damn, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway,
it was probably a really big wedding. Though.
It might have been. I don't know.
She
I wasn't
clearly
there.
didn't invite people for the right reasons. So.
I wasn't there. Okay. And
So Megan, I don't know what to say.
I don't know. So the last big story that I have for us is a story. I just want to say, what the fuck, Portland?
What the fuck, Portland?
What the fuck? What the actual fuck, Portland?
Portland, what's gotten into you?
Oh my God.
Days?
Today in Portland.
We need Rahm Emanuel to be our mayor.
Okay.
Can we transfer him? Do they transfer mayors?
I hope so.
We want to transfer.
Come on over, Rom. Okay, if you're watching us on YouTube, Mark has the mugshot up right now.
He kind of looks like Mark a little bit.
Oh, God.
Doesn't he though?
I don't know. I mean, they both have high cheekbones. I don't know. I feel uncomfortable saying that he looks like Mark because I have a list of all.
Yeah, Mark would never wear that sweater.
Oh, I think Mark has that sweater.
No way.
I don't know. Okay,
It has a zipper. That sweater has like a zip up collar.
I need one.
Okay, so
I'll do a face reveal if we get that sweater.
we should
heard
do a
that,
side by side.
listeners.
Maybe next week we could do a side by side.
We'll do it side by side, but I don't know if you heard that, listeners, because Mark's not on mic, but he said he will do a face reveal if he gets that sweater.
Zip up sweater, and then we can do a side-by-side comparison. Well, in this case of what the fuck, Portland, I will tell you, today police arrested this guy, whose name I didn't write down, because he was touching a woman on TriMet, which is like our public transportation system here. That alone is disgusting, but the reason he's really, like, the additional detail, the reason this is on everyone's radars today, is that since 2009, he's been convicted or implicated in numerous instances of cutting women's hair off on TriMet, riding behind someone and cutting off their hair, gluing stuff to their hair. Or
he just never had a little sister. He needed a little sister. He never had one.
Wait for the last one. Or ejaculating into women's hair on TriMet buses. So I just want to say this is the kind of bullshit that's going down in Portland right now. So if you want to move here, get ready to put up with this jackass because I guarantee he will be out again in 24 hours.
What's his name?
I don't know his name. I gotta find the story. I'll find the story.
Whatever your name
if you can
is,
buy me
I
some time.
fucking dare you to ejaculate in my hair.
Oh my God.
I triple dog dare you to ejaculate in my hair. Okay, you hear that?
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Shit's gonna get real.
I cannot imagine. The only thing I can think is like women maybe didn't realize it was happening at the time it happened because seriously, I
Someone
agree with
realized
you.
it.
Well, yeah, and maybe I don't know. I was gonna say because if that happened in the moment, I just feel like you would just turn around and fucking murder someone.
Sometimes I learned this on Married to Medicine, LA. Sometimes you got to pick someone up and throw them on their head.
Yeah, agreed.
That was somebody's advice to their children about how to deal with bullies.
Oh God.
Just got to pick them up, throw them on their head. On the concrete, though, not on the carpeted floor.
You bought me some time and I got to his name. His name is Jared Walter.
He looks like a Jared.
Jared. J-Wall.
Let's not give him a celebrity name.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
Skyping in.
He's Skyping in. He will not be Skyping in. No, that's not a thing.
I'm sure that the charges will be dropped.
That's not a thing that's happening. Okay, so we are at the point of the show.
The point of the show where
I think we're going to move into our major topic for tonight.
Oh no, it's a major topic.
Major topic.
It's like not like a little earthquake. It's a major.
It's a major.
This
Your
is
house
good.
is going to need insurance for this shit. You better fucking get your earthquake insurance dialed for the waves that this conversation is going to make.
Nice.
Okay, y'all might want to manage your expectations a little bit.
Major topic ahead.
Major topic ahead. So Sandy and I we are prepared. We've been through the ringer on the dating, through the ringer. I mean, we've dated.
There was some ringing.
There was some ringing. We've done some dating in our time. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're two like ladies who dated.
Ladies who dated.
Okay, so
We have experience in the dating.
we have experience in the dating. It's true. Okay, so we have a couple.
Lots and lots of experience.
We wanted to give our listeners our tips on dating do's because a couple weeks ago we talked about bachelor-inspired dating don'ts, and before that we talked about how to survive a breakup. And it's springtime, and it just might be time to freshen up on dating and dating do's.
Yes.
Yes.
I really feel like I should have prepared for this, but I feel like I might be able to I am so good at this.
It's internalized. You know it.
I'm so good at this. I think I could do this without preparing. I just might not be able to do my full best, but you'll have to wait for my service for that.
Your service?
My service.
Like what kind of service?
I don't know. Maybe I'll be a pimp.
I get what you're like a
Or a
coach.
madam.
You're going to be like a hireable.
Like there's this woman
People
on
can pay for your advice.
internet.
Yeah.
There's a woman on internet. There's a woman. There's a woman on the gram, on the World Wide Web. There's a woman on the World Wide Web. She's
Mind
called
blown.
the Hoe Mentor.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. I like it.
We're following her.
Oh, yeah.
She's actually pretty messed up. But I'm like, if this chick can be a Hoe Mentor,
Yeah.
like there is room for me to be like a
love coach.
a grown ass woman mentor.
A grown woman mentor.
Yeah.
GWM. We'll have to get a good acronym going. Well, I'm going to tee some of them up for you. The first one that I have on my list is yours, so I don't want to take credit for it. But I agree with it. I'll just say, okay, the first one is I call this: you got to level up and get a mindset change.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I feel like this is like totally TM'd by me because I blow everybody's wig back when I say this.
Yes.
But it's super fucking important.
Yeah. Level up, get your mindset change. And Sandy, why don't you tell them what that means?
Don't bother. Like, so I use this talking about internet dating, but it's anything, no matter where you're going to meet, whoever you're going to meet, whether it's the supermarket, the club, the golf course, wherever it is you're going.
Yeah.
You gotta know that you're the baddest bitch in the room.
Yep. That's true. So, nope. And that you are doing the selecting.
Yes.
Yes. So not that you are being selected. It's not about winning someone's affection. It's about who meets your standards, who is good. You are doing the picking.
Yes.
So that's why I called it mindset change. Because I think I will speak for myself. I certainly had approached the dating game in terms of like, who will pick me? How can I make them pick me? Mm-hmm. And it changes when it's like, oh, now I'm in charge. I'm selecting. So I would say become the selector.
Yes.
And part of becoming the selector is having that confidence of like, I know who I am. I am okay with where I'm at. And
I'm in a position to be the picker because I'm the baddest bitch in the room. And, you could be the baddest bitch in the room among other bad bitches.
Right.
That's okay. That doesn't mean everybody else has to be,
Yeah, I agree.
So you're the baddest bitch in the room among other bitches. But then it's like, so who gets me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I decide. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm not like waiting for you to decide. Yeah. So that's a big mindset change that I think is super important. The second one that I have is be ruthless.
Why not?
So I feel like one of the dating traps that I feel like people fall into is like this concept of like, oh, you're looking through all these pictures and there's like another guy outdoors with his dog with a mountain in the back and he's like moderately cute and he has like something witty to say. And I just feel like, you know what? You must be attracted to him. I don't think you need to fuck him right away, but you must want to fuck him.
I said that too. That's me too.
Yes. Yeah. We agree on this one.
Yeah.
1000%.
Yeah.
So you be ruthless. If you look at his picture and you have to talk yourself into liking it, bye. Be ruthless.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Can I add something to that?
Absolutely.
And because this is where, I think that people could be like, oh yeah, of course. I would only, I think people would easily see where that seems obvious, but it's not. We don't, if it were obvious, we wouldn't have to say it. But what that means is, that, so when you go, especially like online dating, you choose all these filters. And then you tend to like loosen your filters.
Yes, you expand it.
And so it's like, or whatever the algorithm is, it'll slide some people in who don't meet your filters and you'll notice, I really didn't want to really didn't want to date someone who's separated because that actually fucking means they're married.
Yes.
That's another one.
That's a critical.
Okay, this is dating dudes, but you do not date a married man and that means separated too.
Yeah,
okay.
Agreed.
I'll set that aside. But like that's where like he popped in and he looks great, but it says he's separated, but he's got everything else. So I don't really want to date a separated guy, but I could just meet him.
Yeah.
And then 3 months later you're in tears because he's fucking married.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't know why I'm so sad.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, because you put yourself in a position to be hurt because you didn't stay true to what you want.
That's right. So do be ruthless and do date single people.
Yes.
Yes. It's
Yeah.
that's
But whatever the filter is. And a lot of
Yeah.
it, like another one is profession. Like it was important for me to date a professional person. Now, I know there are people out there who are like, oh, it doesn't matter how much money they make. I could date a painter, whatever. But be realistic about this. Be realistic if you're a professional person, what dating a painter looks like.
Yep.
And if you really do want to date a painter, more power to you. But if you're realistic about it and you really would prefer to date a professional person with a car and an income, like that was one of my things, because I dated a guy who bike commuted for a really long time. And for me, I didn't like having to drive his fucking ass around everywhere.
Yeah. Sure.
So I made I will never date another guy who doesn't have a car in the city. So like if that's your thing, like stick to it. If it's important that they are a professional and have an income, stick to it. Don't be like, oh, he's cute, he meets the criteria, but he's a bartender or
he's cute,
or he's
but
unemployed but I'll just go anyway. So I think those are the more realistic applications of be ruthless.
Yeah, I completely agree. And actually, it leads us into the next point, which is, I think, something you and I have both done, make an ideals list.
Oh, yeah.
So make a list of your filters or your preferences, right? Like, has to be currently employed, because that's another one. That's a really good one where it's like, oh, well, he's gonna be employed. Like, no, he's not right now, which is the same as separated. Oh, he's gonna be single. No, he might not, and he's not right now, and he's certainly not emotionally available. So bye. You know, like,
wait. If he's unemployed, he's emotionally unavailable.
No. If he's separated,
Okay.
if he's going through a separation, he's not available. Yeah. No.
Okay.
No.
Right,
But,
exactly.
so you need
Yes.
to make an ideals list of basically how you're going to set your filters so that you know what to stick to when the algorithm slips somebody in, so you can stay vigilant.
Right.
Yeah. And a kind of sub point to that is something that you and I also both practice, which is that then you have to live up to your ideals yourself. Right. So like,
I mean, I think that's my number one. When like you sent me this message and I was like, well, what would I say about that? It is that like, and then I'm going to be like gender normative here. It's like, I want, based on the ideals list, I want to be the man that I want to date.
yeah, exactly.
You know, and it goes back to, you probably have something prepared to say about it or something that at least makes sense. I'm like,
No, that makes perfect sense.
but it's that thing where it's like, if I possess these qualities and I'm going to shine this light and this energy will then be able to match with the person that I'm looking for.
Yes, exactly. So not only on a spiritual and kind of energetic level is there this importance of like, oh, if I'm looking to date someone who's an honest man, I also need to be an honest woman, because I will attract, what I put out attracts what I get back, right? But also just in like a logistic way on some of the stuff that might be lower down on your ideals list. Like if you want to date a snowboarder, you're like more likely to meet one if you also snowboard, right? So like there is some practicality
and
to
the
it.
snowboarder is going to be more likely to want to date you if you also snowboard, because
right.
that's usually pretty important to people, is that they share the
Some
same
common interests.
Yeah.
So there are a number of levels on which this ideals list is useful, energetically, spiritually, and also just like logistically.
Well, it's
practically.
interesting that because to me that's more of a deal breaker list, or because that's more of a preliminary list than an ideals list. My ideals list was about the ideal man and the ideal relationship. And the things that I had on my ideals list were not things that you could really determine. Like screening online who I'm going to date the first few dates. For instance, on my ideals list was somebody with a really good relationship with their mother. And
you're right. You're not going to find that on.
You're not going to find that
on
online.
their profile.
Yeah,
Might be
somebody
strange.
who's connected to friends and family. You're not going to be able to find that online. So I totally support making an ideals list. And that's the real important stuff. And I had a note in my phone with my ideals list, and I had made notes about a couple people I dated about like how many ideals they hit and what were my like thoughts and concerns.
Yeah.
And then I had like one note that was like the date, like Joey hits every one. And then the date, like 6 months later, Joey still hits every one.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then I, looked at it again,
Track
and then
it.
I just had to like put again, he still hits every one. And then also I still hit every one. Those ideals are still incredibly important to me. So the ideals list, to me, I just want to put a plug in because it is also incredibly important. It's a part of like going back to what we've talked to before. You got to know yourself. You got to know yourself well. You have to know who you are and trust yourself and love yourself before a list like this can be produced, before, like a truly genuine partnership can be made with somebody. I think
you're absolutely right. And I love that you have identified kind of the subtle difference between, you should make 2 lists, frankly. This is becoming a two lists. Make a deal breakers list on some stuff that you can find out from their profile or from their the first date, and make an ideals list of some deeper stuff that you're going to need to find some answers to. The critical thing is that you make both of these lists before you start dating.
Yeah, that would be really confusing.
Because it's like real easy.
Because then the list would become the person you're dating,
exactly.
right?
It's real easy. No matter how much integrity everyone has, it's real easy to like not make the list and then start dating someone and be like, oh my God, my list looks just like this person. So like make that shit before, especially if you're someone who's like, a lot of people kind of continuously date, but a lot of people also take breaks. So if you like take a break from dating and you're coming back to it, take the time to make both of these lists before you like go back out there. Just saying.
And, Heidi and I, when we're talking about dating do's and don'ts, we're always talking to the person who is tired of fucking around.
Yes.
Tired of playing the games. Like, you're already through that. It's really fun dating a bunch of people. You're already past that. It's really fun, like, waking up in a different bed every morning.
Yeah.
Like, you're done with that, and you're looking for some type of partnership.
A relationship. Yes. Yeah. That's an important qualifier.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're not looking for a relationship, then you can just fast forward.
Yeah. I mean, this is
or
all...
you can just listen along, and someday you'll need it. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's such an important detail. Okay. The next thing that I have is kind of a wah-wah, but I think it's important. I say do cut it short if it's not a vibe. If you meet with them and you're like not really that interested, girl, you don't have time to waste. Bye. Just be done. You can be polite about it. You don't need to be a bitch about it, but you can just be like, this is, simplest form of the truth on this one. I just don't think we're clicking. Gotta go. Whatever.
Totally. And you mean like on the date? Like you don't have to sit through the 2 hours and then wait for the person to painfully ask you to go get coffee now. Yeah. You don't have to do that.
Don't do that.
No, and don't do it.
You are worth more than that. Know your worth and add tax. Cut the shit short if you are not getting a vibe.
I was standing in line at Townsend's Tea one day, and it was the longest line. It's typical Portland line. And I hit it off with this guy, and we chatted and we laughed, and he was so funny and he made me laugh. Like I was rolling through the line.
Yeah.
And then so he asks me out, and I go out with him, and I thought because we had such a fun time standing in line, which really it was, is he just entertained me while we were in line, like that I owed it to go out with him. I went out with this man 5 times until I was like, I am not attracted to him. I can't even fathom kissing this man. And now we're on like the 5th date.
Yeah.
We've already like left town together and hiked up like a Washingtonian mountain together. And I'm like, oh shit. I was in deep, and it was hard to extricate myself, and it was awkward. Don't do what I did.
Yeah. And you
don't do what I did.
And not if you want a relationship.
No. But that did help me find Joey, because that was part of what like fired me up, that I will not date somebody I'm not attracted to.
Yes. 1000% agree. 1000% agree. This is one that is Sandy's, but I have it on my list because I know you'd want to talk about it. Do set a date.
Yeah.
Do not with the endless messaging.
Oh yeah. I hear the kids are doing that these days.
Kids are doing this nonstop messaging. If you want to go out with someone, and then my kind of next point is dovetails with this, and don't go ahead and do make the first move.
Yeah. Well, let me add something about setting a date.
Okay.
Here I am. I'm gonna be gender normative again. It's gonna be a fucking date.
Yeah.
You are worth being taken out on a date.
That's right.
And that means he gonna pay, boo. And that is okay.
Yes,
that is okay. And that is how, like, what you always say. We're so good at this together.
I know, this is awesome.
Heidi always said, you teach people how to treat you.
That's right.
And that is number one. You're teaching this person how to treat you.
Yeah.
And if this person is not willing to pay, that really says a lot.
Yeah. And it's part of, like, I am selecting you.
Right.
So show me why I should select you.
Yes.
Woo me.
This is a date.
It's a date.
It's not a meeting.
Yeah. Why? What was that for?
Well, because while Joey did take me out and pay and do all that, he later down the road referred to our first date as not our first date, but a meeting. And I think the reason he did that is because our second date was like really nice and really lovely, where he like,
I remember your second date.
He pulled out all the
actually.
stops on the
He
second
did.
one. So maybe like he was just trying to qualify that as like the date.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh no, that was a date. Like, just, he didn't pick me up. And I'm not saying that this person's going to pick you up at your house.
Yeah, that might be dangerous.
We're going to keep all the rules of safety.
Yeah.
You can still meet this person somewhere, but it will be a date and they will pay.
Yeah. And so yes, absolutely. So that is,
and don't feel sheepish when the bill comes. You just look at it and you look at the bill and you look at him, and that's how it works.
Yeah.
And you own that shit because you're the baddest bitch in the room.
That's right. The people need to hear this, Sandy. I am
Yes.
so glad we're doing this episode.
Yes.
This is so good. I can't wait. This is good.
Well, I noticed Mark stopped smiling with that one.
He's making a frowny face. Okay, and then I do say, do make the first move. Now this is a little bit like, last week we talked about, or a couple weeks ago we gave advice to someone who was like, should I make the first move? And we mentioned like that you'll know if they want to go out with you because they'll make the first move. But in this age of like the back and forth messaging and the blah blah blah, I just feel like your time is valuable. It's worth getting down to it. If there's someone that you want to see, like that you would like to select, go ahead, message them, make the first move, set the date, and get done with it. I'm on board with that. I think I'm comfortable suggesting that.
Oh yeah, totally.
And then
and they can still pay.
And they can still pay. That's right.
Yeah.
Glad you added that.
Yeah.
Because some people might not think that, and I think it's important.
And you may need to just like phrase it as like, I would like you to take me out on a date.
Yeah, I love that. That's
Anyway.
good. DM us if you need any lines for setting the date. We will basically almost do it for you. I don't know.
We will.
Yeah, we would. And the last thing that I have on here, this is certainly not an exhaustive list, but it is the last thing that I have. We can see if we need to add anything else on the end. Is I say do pay for a service. Like,
what does that mean?
If you're doing online dating, go ahead and like, I know, go ahead and skip the free shit.
Why?
Because I feel like it's more of an investment. Like I feel like people are more serious when they have to pay even like a $5 a month fee or whatever, right? Like now it's a recurring fee on my bank card. Like it means I'm there for something, not just fucking, not just messaging. It means like I'm there for a reason. And also it demonstrates someone who's willing to pay to like, or willing to make an investment in order to meet someone that they click with. I'm kind of on...
The principle sounds
good. I'm not entirely sure about how it all fleshes out. I just wanted to put it out there.
I mean, it's a good thought because I always wondered because not too long ago I said, probably on this podcast, like, oh, I met Joey on Match. And then I was like, wait, no, it wasn't Match. It was OkCupid. Mm-hmm. And Match is a paid service and OkCupid isn't. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I wonder why I did that. But I think I did OkCupid because of the spontaneity. Like I just like had this like hair up my ass. Like I'm going to choose somebody. I'm going to write like a real quick profile. But I met Joey on OkCupid and it was a free one. And he's not, and he wasn't out trying to fuck people. Well, I don't know about that, but he is definitely an emotionally available person who is looking for a relationship to be invested in, and he paid. Yeah. So I don't know. And I also know that people have met on Tinder and had relationships. So it seems like it works, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. I would say the jury's out. It would be nice.
Research.
Maybe actually Fred could listen to this and fact check us. I would like to know. I'd be curious about that.
The principle sounds good.
Because I also feel like it's consistent with this idea of like, especially if you are interested in a man who is employed and has a professional, I just feel like it weeds out the guys that aren't unemployed, that are cheat.
This is why I'm nervous about this piece of advice, because I don't know that it does. I think just as many women get like fucked over by the people playing games on those sites too. Yeah. So I think
let's do some research on that one. I can pull that one back.
Yeah, no, I'm just not sure, but I like what you're saying.
I
like what you're saying, but how about this? We're not making any promises about that one.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
We're playing pretty fast
Yeah.
and loose with that one.
Yeah.
That is all of the...
At least you know that the person will have a credit card. How's that?
There we go.
How's
At
that?
the very least,
Yes.
the person will have a credit card.
Yes.
We'll have revolving credit. I love it. I love it. Well, that rounds out all the dating dues that I have. Can you think of anything that I had listed? They're not mine. Can you think of anything else that needs to be added to this list, kind of off the cuff? That we missed?
No, I think when I only briefly thought about it, and I already shared what I thought about that, and now I can't think of anything.
Okay.
I mean, I have more.
Yeah.
I have all the answers.
Well, the good news is, to get a more comprehensive list, you can find us when we hit up K2's Afternoon Live again on April 10th. That's 2 weeks from now. We'll be doing a segment on dating dues. It will certainly include a couple of these, but it might have some new ones that we think of in the that we recall or that we add to it. We'll have our best dating dues on display when we do that segment. So that's going to be amazing. The other thing that
wait.
we have coming up, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to make the plug, even though we're not totally confirmed on it. What's the O?
Nothing.
Okay.
I thought of a do, but it was a don't. Save it for another one.
The last plug that I want to make, this is a big deal. Today on our social media, I put out a call for listener questions because we want to fix your life. That's important. We always want to fix your life. We're always happy to be doling out the advice. We love doing advice segments with specific questions. But this is a big deal because next week we think next week, we're yet to confirm, sometime in the coming weeks, we are having a guest on the show. She's going to Skype in, and this is going to be an opportunity to get advice about your life, whatever area you might like: relationships, finances, career, voting, politics, whatever, from the same person who gave advice to Obama and Biden. Okay? So I'm just saying, like, this is a woman who gave advice to the best president ever. And like, she could potentially be giving you advice. So give us your questions. You want to DM them. You want to DM them to us fast and furious. You want to send them to @all.gold.pod. You want to email them to allgoldpod@gmail.com or goldengirls@allgoldpod. No, you want to send them to allgoldpod@gmail.com. Sorry.
That one works too.
They both work. We have a couple email addresses. You're better off DMing them.
I think goldengirls is gmail.com.
DM us at all.gold.pod or
that is right.
The Real Sandy J.
That's
or
the G Suite.
honeybee52 or email us at goldengirls@allgoldpod.com.
There's so many ways.
So many
to
ways.
reach
Basically, we're thirsty for your questions. Fucking please send them.
Yeah.
Because it would be so awesome. I just want this woman to be able to fix your life. It'd be so dope to be like, I got the greatest advice from Obama's former chief of staff. So anything else that you want to add to the end of the show here, Sandy, as we wrap up?
I got nothing.
We're tentatively committed to that. So that'll be exciting. We're committed. So
We're committed.
so it's exciting.
I'd say it's unconfirmed though.
It is unconfirmed. But either way, send us your questions. We'll answer them.
We will.
They'll get answered.
I mean, I don't know. We could answer just as well as anybody else.
That's true. That's true. So we are sending lots of love, light, and gold from Portland. Don't forget to
stay vigilant.
What miracles of science and engineering it took to recover this gold.